So we finally get some clarity on this whole switch to physical games might be physical situation. And surprisingly, there's some good news for once. At PAX East 2025, limited run games. Yeah, limited run games. The same one that I was upset about because of the way they handled the firing of Kara Lynn. They've been fighting the good fight for physical media since day one. I'll give them that. But they stepped in to clear the air, and they didn't mince words. They said if they're publishing a game under their official number line, that these will have the entire game on the Switch 2 cartridge, period, point blank, period. No download codes, no game key cards, no scams in a box. And I gotta say, you know what? I'm actually proud for limited run games. I actually did something that I like for the first time in a while. And I commented on this tweet from Go Nintendo Tweet, who talked more about it in the article. And there's somewhat of a positive response. People are saying, have fun waiting 6 to 15 months, though, for your prepaid game to arrive after the launch date. F limited run games. I will agree with that. Sometimes it takes a little too long to get that game. By the time I get the game in the mail, the game's already done. It's over with. People don't care to play it anymore. But you know what? This is a step in the right direction, and it seems for the most part, other than the, usual heckling of limited run games, which is rightfully deserved so, I think this is good news, especially with all the uncertainty with game key cards in the Switch 2. But let's don't break out the champagne, though. The caveat is if it's a partnered release, meaning it's not one of their official numbered entries, then the final say is up to the original publisher. And I'm pretty sure most third-party developers or even indie studios are going to choose to do the game key releases. That means we could still see them. We could still see these cursed game key cards floating around, but at least we know where limited run stands as far as a company goes. And you know what? That's more than what I could say at this time for half the industry, judging from most of the launch releases for the Switch 2. We had Street Fighter, Puyo Puyo, and they're doing game key releases instead, which is a little bit of a letdown, but my consensus is if it's a game key release, I'm just going to buy it on a download. I don't need pointless boxes with physical media that's not real. I know it's kind of like a weird divisive topic where people are like, what does it matter? Why does it matter? You're still getting something you can resell and stuff. To me, I don't want to see game keys become a trend. I feel that that's a way to exploit consumers in the name of physical media. But that's a whole other conversation that I had not too long ago. But if you've been following this controversy, let's go ahead and just touch it real quick. Here's the deal. These game key cards are basically glorified download tokens, right? So you buy a physical copy, you open the case, and instead of game data, you get a little cartridge that just pings the internet and says, hey, can I have the game now, right? It's like buying a Blu-ray, opening the case, finding a sticky note that says stream it on Netflix. Basically, in layman's terms. So this whole thing exploded when we found out that certain Switch 2 titles were going this route. And yeah, people are pissed, rightfully so. I'm one of them. I'm a little bit more disappointed. I'm not angry, right? What's that thing say? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. You're paying collector's edition prices for what amounts to be a glorified launcher. What's the point of even having the game key card? Now, here's the perfect example of a partnered release from Limited Run Games. So this is the first Limited Run Games Switch 2 partnered release. There's no numbered releases announced yet at this time, but this is Raidou Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army Collector's Edition. This is going to be a game key card. This is going to be a game key card. There's no actual game on this cart. Sure, it looks great on surface. There's a lot of fanfare, a lot of hype behind it, but there's no game on the actual cartridge. And this decision was made by Sega and Atlas. This wasn't made by Limited Run Games, but it still stings, right? The expectation is simple. If we buy a physical game, we want the actual physical game. We want something that we don't have to connect to the internet in order to download, because these game key cards eventually are going to be worthless. When the servers go down, you're going to have little game key cards that don't work anymore because the full game is not on it. And I know this day and age, certain games are way higher than the 64 gigabytes that the Switch 2 is going to be having for the carts. And there's updates and patches and stuff. I just, we're definitely in the digital age now, guys. So this is the $250 Switch 2 version, collector's edition for Raidou Remastered. And if you look right here, the fine print highlighted right here says Switch 2 collector's edition comes with game key card. So be sure if you order from Limited Run Games that you do extensive research. You look at the fine print and you see if the game that you're ordering is a game key card or not. If it's a partnered release, if it's a official numbered release, you don't have to worry about it, thankfully. You know, honestly, I think Limited Run, to an extent, does deserve some serious credit. They're making it clear that at least for their core releases, they still believe in actual preservation, but we'll see how long that lasts, right? We'll see how long that lasts. I think physical media should mean ownership, honestly, not a code with a shelf life. Like I said, this game, this Raidou Remastered, I don't even know how to pronounce it, eventually will not work because it's a game key card. Street Fighter 6 on the Switch 2 eventually will not work because it's a game key card. Puyo Puyo Tetris will eventually not work. What other games are coming out on the Switch 2? There's like a list of like 12, at least, that are game key cards that will not work. So kudos to them for at least for their numbered releases doing it. It's not exactly a full W. We were talking about this on live stream last night, and I know shout outs to Crimson Skidmark. He said this isn't a W. To me, it feels a little bit like it is. At least, you know, it's good to hear this good news. Especially as file sizes are ballooning, publishers are trying to cut corners, Limited Run sticking to physical cartridges. It feels kind of like a stand against this industry trend that I feel just lazy. You know, like Puyo Puyo doesn't even fill a 64 gigabyte cartridge. I think it's like 30, maybe even less than that. And they're going a game key route because they don't want to pay for a 64 gigabyte cartridge when the game could fit on there. And yeah, we're still gonna have to deal with these awful game key cards. This is the future, guys. Especially with third-party devs who treat physical releases like a checkbox. Like, oh, we got it in a plastic case, guys. Like, if you go to Walmart, you see some of them are download codes inside of plastic cases. I feel this is a win, though. This is a real, tangible win for collectors and fans of media that you can actually hold. I'm excited to find out what their numbered release is going to be. What's number one going to be? Let's just hope the rest of this gaming industry follows suit, or at least stops pretending that a download case inside of a download code inside of a case counts as physical media, because it really doesn't. As you know, Limited Run Games, they're a smaller publisher. Sure, they're in Best Buy and stuff, but if they could make it work, why can't Sega? What's the AAA third-party excuse, right? Anyways, this was reported from Boss Rush and GoNintendo.com if you guys want to look more into it. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. I'll see you on the next one.